Hey guys, Jeremiah with Steps Pressure Washing and More. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about being a pressure washer on YouTube. Now that we are kicking off into heavy season on pressure washing, we're going to see a lot of new people coming out doing some videos just like I did a couple years ago. And it's definitely one of those things where there's a lot of pluses and minuses in this column. I'm going to go over a few of those pros and cons in today's video. All right, so a little bit about my channel if you're just getting started. We've been doing videos for about 2.5 years. We've made about 185 videos and have had about 200,000 views so far on YouTube just from video content. I've heard it said that the least productive thing you could do for your business is to start a YouTube channel about your business, and there's a lot of truth to that, but also there's a few caveats that I'll go over in this video that'll kind of explain away why I still make YouTube videos. All right, so the first pro, everybody knows, you get into YouTube so you can make money, lots and lots of money making YouTube videos about pressure washing. And I've heard and I've seen in a lot of forums where people say, well, those guys on YouTube, they're making so much money on their pressure washing content, they don't need to make that much money on their actual business, and that's how they can buy so many cool things. So let me also go ahead and say that we have made, I think it's an average of $6.15 per video we've made so far. And yes, we've made a lot of videos, and yes, that does end up being a lot of money. But when you really narrow it down, if I spent an hour on filming and editing each one of the YouTube videos I've made in the past 2.5 years, that's $6.15 an hour for my work and for my time. And while I was building a business, that hour could have I could have been putting stuff out there in Facebook groups. I could have been putting stuff out there, doing door knocking. I could have been doing any other type of marketing for my business that could have been way more productive. Like I really could have spent an hour a day or every other day promoting my business more. And if I could have made $6.15, honestly, I could have made everything I've made in the past 2.5 years in, a couple days of pressure washing work. And so it's definitely not just about the money. And the money is great, and don't get me wrong, I am very grateful for the entire community out there who has been supporting our channel by the likes and subscribes. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button while you're on here today. That helps us out a lot and helps keep making content like this. All right, another big pro. See, we're going to go 2 pros in a row. Having a video walkthrough of every job every day, even if you don't set it to public where other people can watch your video, you can have a video record all right there listed by date on YouTube to where you can go back and you can view before you washed it, after you washed it, while you washed it. Anything you wanted to document while you were there, you can have a place to store it and easily go back to. So for me, if I've got like a public video that I put out, I can go back and I can say, hey, this was my walk around. Or if I decided I wanted to not make that video public because it wasn't very interesting or worthy of, watching or entertaining, I just don't make it public, and I still have that content to come back to. So anyone out there doing any type of small home services business, make sure you're doing these video walkarounds and video cataloging as much as you can of befores and afters. That way you have something to refer back to in 6 months if somebody gives you a call and says you damaged their property. All right, so this is the biggest con of having a YouTube channel, and that is doing my day in the life videos and going around with my equipment and talking about my process, and you're really putting your mistakes out there for everyone to see, whether you even understand they're a mistake or not. And a lot of times I'll actually put something on YouTube that I'm actually really excited about or really proud about, and my first 8 comments are, you should have done this, or you should have done that, or you should do this and it would make this better. And it's definitely one of those things where it really it takes a lot on the ego to be able to continue to make YouTube videos, even though you have to go out and say, okay, I might have made a mistake and I'm going to do better or not do better. But it's very tempting to make videos and really edit it down to, I'm the smartest guy in the world. I know how I'm doing everything, and the way I'm doing it is the only way to do it. And it's really tempting to do that, sure, but it's not real. And you don't gain anything from it. You don't learn anything from it. So even though it's a big con of having your mistakes out there in front of everybody, I definitely would say that it's necessary if you're going to do a YouTube channel. It has to be real. It has to be your own real experience. It has to be truth. And if not, it's just entertainment. All right, so another pro is it really helped me focus on what I was doing more than anybody else. Before I started my YouTube channel, I watched a lot of other YouTube channels, a lot of things on Instagram and Facebook, and I was really paying attention to what are these people using, what are they, what's the day in their life, and it really, kept my focus away from my business. And having the YouTube about my business and about my processes and about my equipment helps me really dial in on, am I doing this the right way? Is my process something that I should be putting out there? And it also, it really pushes me to continue to grow and to continue to live the lifestyle that, I'm on YouTube, this professional pressure washer who stays busy. And honestly, staying busy is really hard sometimes. Right now in North Carolina, it's pollen season and my phone is not ringing. So I've got to get out there. I've got to get some more signs out today. That way when pollen starts to slow down, I'm already in front of people and maybe I've got some more stuff on the books. And none of that would happen if I was focused on what other people were doing and what other people were buying and how people thought about everything. I got to get out there. I got to do it myself. I've got to be the one making my business grow, and doing the YouTube channel really put my focus back on my business and back on me rather than what is everybody else doing, keeping up with the Joneses. All right, so here's a con. Do I really look like that? Man, is it hard watching yourself age. And this is something that I didn't think that I would have a huge issue with, but I definitely have been watching myself age over the past 2.5 years. I've watched myself gain weight. I've watched myself gain gray hair. When I do the setup of a camera and then I walk out and then I pressure wash stuff, I say, hey, is that am I getting a little belly there? And it's definitely one of those things. Again, we get back to the ego of, it's you. You're the one out there. You're the one with the gray hair. You're the one who sounds like that during pollen season. Yes, I know I'm probably very nasally right now. But it's definitely hard to stare yourself in the face all the time, and your self-image is definitely affected by all of the strange faces you make and the weight you gain, and how old you're getting right in front of your own eyes. Okay, so another pro. We talked a little bit about money, but there's also partnerships. So one of the things that we did as soon as we started the YouTube channel is we decided to partner up with a couple of the businesses that we already were using, like UZ Marketing. I was using UZ Marketing pretty much for about 6 months before we started the YouTube channel. So when we started the YouTube channel, it only made sense to partner up with them because they already did a great job. We already knew they were the only ones we were going to use, so why not refer them and recommend them? They have the best price, so might as well. UZ Marketing, link in the description, easy as pie. Same thing with House Call Pro. I couldn't imagine running my business without a CRM. I love House Call Pro. Why wouldn't I become a partner with House Call Pro? Amazon. I order everything off of Amazon. My wife orders stuff from Amazon constantly. Why not partner up with Amazon so that at least I'm giving you guys links? Say, hey, here's the link to the oxalic acid I'm using for this fence, and you can go on and you can buy it as well because it literally is the same thing I'm using. So a lot of these things are very no-brainer situations. Having a partnership with these different companies, as long as it's an honest and truthful recommendation, it is a great way to pair your YouTube channel to make just a little bit of extra money. Con, it's time consuming, and I'm not going to get too much into that because I kind of already touched on it. If I spend an hour a day on YouTube editing and filming, that's an hour a day that I'm not growing my business. That's a bad thing. You don't want to be giving up too much of your free time because you need to be able to mentally recharge in between everything. So what do I get out of it? And I think this is the biggest thing I have gotten out of this whole ordeal over the past 2.5 years. Yes, I've made about an average of $6.15 per video that I've posted. Some were more, some were less, but on average, it's about 615. But the biggest thing that I have gained is the pressure washing community being behind me. And this is one of those, everybody seems to be willing to help the guy on YouTube a lot more than the guy who is just starting up down the road from them. And a lot of people have given me a ton of advice that I've been able to use and then grow my business or do something safer and continue to grow and continue to learn. And there's been a ton of people who have been saying, hey, you know, if you try this, it's going to change your life. It's going to speed up your process. And it did. And so thank you so much for everybody who's been watching for the past 2.5 years. Thank you so much for everybody who has contributed to growing our channel, growing the community, and hopefully I've been able to take a lot of what I've learned and then pass that back to the new guys who are just getting started. That way we are all growing together, all benefiting from this. And I think that that is something truly special that I never expected when we started the channel, and I can only look back on the past 2.5 years and say this has been a great journey. It's been worth every headache. And you know, we've had some negative comments out there. The negative comments are a little hard to get past sometimes, but I think in the end, it's not about the money. It's not about the fame, because no one is going to remember the guy who did pressure washing on YouTube. I have 1,800 subscribers. I'm not famous, but I really, really enjoy the community, the social aspect of it, where I can actually speak with other people who are doing the same work that I'm doing. And so a huge thank you to you guys. And if you are out there and you are thinking about getting started pressure washing on YouTube, I definitely say, hey, give it a shot. You know, it's just like with your business. It's going to be persistent. It's going to mean working for free a lot. And it is going to be something that if you want it to be profitable or long lasting, you really have to give a lot before you're able to get anything back. But I think that it's definitely a journey that I would take again, and a journey that I am very much looking forward to continuing and doing more, doing better. I want to do a 30-day challenge coming up. I don't post nearly as regularly as a lot of other YouTubers out there, so I'm thinking do a 30-day challenge, kind of break that seal of doing daily postings. But, you know, we'll see. And I don't want it to take away from my main business, because right now I do need to focus, and I do actually need to go out and put out some yard signs. But overall, absolutely wonderful journey. Thank you guys again. If you're still watching, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And that's all I got. Y'all be safe out there.